Okay. Week 10 of The Artist Way. Hold on. I think that is something. Okay, hold on. Week 10 of The Artist Way. I made my video last week right before I went to go on my artist day to see Martin Supreme. Oh my gosh, and may I just say, I need to start off with that. My throat is kind of hurting, but I'm going to get through this video and I'm going to shut the heck up. I'm going to watch Doechie's video and then I'm going to watch season 2, episode 4, and probably 5 of freaking Percy Jackson. And I'm not talking for the rest of the weekend. But may I just say, if I didn't get anything from Marty Supreme, is that, oh my gosh, and it's something that Doechii has been talking about in all of her videos. And it's just that it's talent plus audacity, bro. If you don't have audacity, you're not getting the things that you want. Because Marty was a terrible person. And he also had audacity. And I think that's what got him to where he wanted to go. The audacity to do the things that he did. To say the things that he said. That's what got him. I don't know. At least that's what I got. You know? And like, maybe for a lot of people, for people watching the movie, they might have been like, when is this guy gonna not get what he wants? Or like, when is this guy gonna like fall through the cracks because he's a terrible person or because he's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when is this guy like not gonna succeed? But he had the audacity, so it's like, you know what I mean? You don't give him a pass. Also, the audacity. I don't know. So, I'm just gonna have more audacity. See where life gets me. I put on my list Doechii, and then I put excited to do these projects. Don't know what that means, but I watched Doechii's video last week, and I think she said something that made me be like, oh my gosh, I literally said that too. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Hashtag Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's like me and Doechii like this. Doechii just put out a song called Girl Get Up. That's been on repeat. Love the song with SZA. So yeah. The tasks this week, I did 3 of them. I did the first task, and that was like I did kind of like a random pick of things based on topics. It says, take a piece of paper and cut 7 small strips from it. On each strip, write one of the following words: alcohol, drugs, sex, work, money, food, family, friends. Alcohol, drugs, sex, work, money, food, family, friends. Okay. That's 8. Hold on. Oh no, that is 7. Alcohol, drugs, sex, work, money, family, and friends. I missed number 5. I'm okay, guys. Fold the strips, put them somewhere, and then every day, just randomly pick one out, and then write 5 ways in which it has had a negative impact on your life. So I did that every day this week. I got alcohol, drugs, sex, money, food, family, and friends. Wait, hold on. I didn't get work or food, I think. I got alcohol twice, family and friends twice, something like that. It was cool. I did The Awful Truth on Tuesday, which was just like answering questions honestly. And then I just listed some victories. That I cherish on today. This week, when I was reading the essays, there were essays about fame, which I don't really agree with or relate to, because like me being an artist has never had anything to do with fame. I've never wanted it, or like it's never been something that I've been like, what is a way that I can get fame? I'm gonna be an actor so I can be famous. That's never been my train of thought. There have been prophecies in my life, but that's a thing for a whole nother day. Workaholism, never had a problem with that. In actuality, I need more workaholism because I don't think I work enough, if I'm being quite honest. There was an essay about competition. Now, I will say that sometimes I look at somebody that's gotten somewhere, and I think like, oh, I could also do that job. You know what I mean? But it's never like a negative, like, oh, I don't like her because she has the job I want, or like, oh, I don't like her because she's on Broadway and I'm not. You know, I just don't think that way. And it's never like, you know, it's just, sometimes it makes me feel like, okay, excuse me. It makes me feel like things are possible. It makes me feel like, okay, well, I can get there. You know what I mean? Like, yes, people have gotten things that I want career-wise and personally. And it's just like, well, you know, girl, at least I know that it's possible for me to get now. You know what I mean? And it's just like, even when I don't see somebody that has something that I want, I do have faith and believe that I can get it. And there is a tinge of like, oh, I could have that literally right now. And there is also a tinge of like, well, if they have it, why don't I have it? But it's like, I can't even think about that, because then, you know, you get into whole like, why not me thing. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when people really begin in the rabbit holes that you just don't need to get into. I mean, it's just like not even worth it at that point. And like, yes, I could look at all the black girls that are around my age on TV shows, in movies that I would love to be in on red carpets, and like having followers that I'd love, but it's just like, also, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I'm so chilling right now. I'm so chilling right now. Like, I'm fine. It's okay. I'm content with where I am. Frightfully so. I am frightfully content right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of people that are like, you know, actors, when they're not working, they get depression, and they're just like, oh, I'm not an actor because I'm not acting, and like, they get all, you know what I mean? And, you know, just like when things don't go people's way, it can just get rough. And look, it is rough, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm, you know, hey, I'm just like, okay, well, things are not the way I want them to be. I want things to be different. That's about it. And like, it's like, it's not that I can make them change. You know what I mean? If I can make them change, I would. I can make some stuff shake if I wanted to, but I just can't. So it's just like, why would I be stressed about something that I can't change? And then one of the things is like, help me to understand the things, help me to have strength for the things that I can't change. Like, help me change the things that I can't, and help me to to realize the things that I can't, something like that. And it's just like I realize I can't change, my situation right now. So I'm like, look, I'm getting up when I can. I'm doing my morning pages. Then I get up, I do my stuff. You know what I mean? I'm praying. So it's just like, look, I'm doing my best. I'm doing what I gotta do. So yeah, I don't really feel competition. It's not like they're getting something that I want and ooh, it's me against them. It's like, not really. And I want different things. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not gonna lie. If I look somewhere in a couple months or a couple years and see somebody get the exact acting role that I want, that's not even in existence yet, like two very specific things from two very specific book universes, then I'm gonna be like, okay, it's gonna sting a little. I'm gonna be like, huh. You know what I'm saying? And then and then I'm gonna let it go. And I'm hoping that I don't see that. I'm hoping I see my face. I'm hoping that I see my headshot on that deadline freaking thing. You know what I'm saying? I hope it's me. But if it's not, child, then I'm going to just let it go. And I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to be at home and I'm going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I'm going to be cool. But this week, literally, okay, hold on. Because I'm going to get into this. Literally, hold on. Okay, so I did my morning pages every day. I haven't started reading them yet. I'm not going to read them till the end. But I mean, it asks this week, are you still allowing yourself to write them freely? And I'd say yes. I write my dreams. I write things that just spontaneously come into my mind. And sometimes I might be like, ooh, I want to write that in my morning pages, and I might just like scribble it down. But anything that just pops in my head, I'm writing it down. So I'd say so. My artist date was kind of lazy, but it was the best that I could do. I couldn't go anywhere. Yeah, I couldn't go anywhere, and it was just like what I could do at home. I watched the movie Friends with Benefits, and I what's it called? And I had dessert. It was like a turtle brownie type thing. It was pretty good that my mom made. There was no synchronicity this week, which is kind of sad, because last week's synchronicity was off the chain. And then any other issues this week that I consider significant. This week I realized, either yesterday or today, I was like, this week was called the week recovering a sense of self-protection. And I needed to protect myself this week because this week was kind of rough because I went up against a lot of people low-key being like disrespectful to me. You know what I mean? In a couple different instances. And a couple people just wanted me to quit. Not even creatively, but like academically and personally, in my personal life. And it's just like people being like, why don't you just quit? And I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to keep going with what I said. I'm going to finish what I started. And they're like, okay, but girl, why don't you just not? And I'm like, okay, are you deaf or hard of hearing? Do I need to say it in sign language? Because obviously, you hearing me saying that I'm not going to quit is not getting through to you. What's the problem? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to hide. When I said academically, I meant the fact that before I left college early to go work for APT, I didn't have a chance to finish. But I was told by my former advisor for my honors college thesis and capstone that it wasn't good enough after he, kind of left me high and dry and never gave me any feedback on it or anything. He just let me fail, just openly. And he was like, hey, it's not good enough. You can't, bring this to the panel. I was like, cool. So they got me on a call in May, and they were like, hey, why don't you just quit and, we'll let this go and you can just not get an honors credential. And I said, well, no, you know what I'm saying? Because I've done all this work and I've done all this writing. I don't want to quit. They're like, cool, well, work at APT. You'll take the summer and you'll come back in the fall with revisions and you'll be able to defend your thesis then. I was like, great. So in August, I follow back up and I get no response. So then in December and January, which is right now, a few days ago, I went back to the honors college, went back to the head of the honors college, and I said, yo, I would like my honors credentials. Let's get some shaking because I'm ready to get this over with. I'm ready for school to be behind me. Really. And so I'm getting the runaround, and I'm getting rude remarks, and I'm getting disrespect from people that are like, well, why don't why don't you just let this be? Why don't you just, you've got a lot on your hands. Why don't you just quit while you're ahead and all this stuff? And I said, that might be your opinion, but I've set out to start this, and I'm going to finish what I started. So I've had this week, it kind of just hit me this week that I'm just like, oh, this week of recovering self-protection was me standing up for myself and being like, no, I'm not going to quit. If your opinion is that I quit, well, then get out of my face. I don't care if you're the dean. I don't care if you're the janitor. If you're going to talk to me about quitting, you should get out of my face because it's not happening. I ain't going to get tight on it now. I'm just saying. Know what I mean? And so this week, it kind of got to me because, they didn't get to me. But just as I was getting ready to record this video, I was writing down how I really didn't relate to the essays, fame, drought, workaholism, but I slightly with competition, which, I literally just talked about. But when I realized that drought was one of the essays, girl, I think it was Friday. It was Friday. So Friday, yesterday, was when I had the meeting with one of the deans at my alma mater about, getting this thesis done and over with, right? So he's like, why don't you just quit while you're ahead? And I think that it'd be best if you just didn't, or whatever, right? So I said, sir, I'm finishing what I started. End of story. You know what I'm saying? He got mad, all mad, and he was nice to me when we first got on the call, but by the end of the call, he was mad, and I was just like, well, bye, and he was like, bye, just weird and rude. So after that, my mom was hot. She had listened to the phone call, to the Zoom call, and she was upset. You know what I'm saying? She's a black mom, and she was upset. She started praying heaven down and everything like that. which I appreciate, okay? But I was just silent. I wasn't even saying anything. I was just taking it all in. So she left. My mom left to go get her tags renewed for her car. And I'm just thinking, and I'm still silent. You know what I'm saying? You know when you know when there are no words, it's just like, oh. It's like I wasn't upset, I wasn't mad, I wasn't pissed. I was just like, oh. And I was just silent. And I started folding my clothes that were on the bed. And then I just started being like, God, please let me go back to APT this season. For their 2026 season. I'm like, God, please take me back. Please let them want me. Please. I start going, please. So then I start to cry. I'm getting real. I start to cry. And then I just start to wail. Because I start thinking about, I kid you not, the tangible love that I felt in the 2025 American Players Theater season. Undefeated. And so I start wailing. I start crying like I've never cried in my life. I start to think about just the love that I got from everybody. I'm talking from, everybody. I start thinking about everybody. I'm just like, God, please let me go back. Please, just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Lord, I don't even care what roles you give me. They could give me I could have 0 lines in the whole season. I don't care. Just let me go. Please. I start wailing. I'm gone. Tears. Oh my gosh. And I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I start like bargaining. No cap. I start bargaining and I'm like, God, I won't complain not once. You know what I'm saying? Like, and last summer, it's not like I complained about APT to God, but like, I kind of like made problems or like, not necessarily made problems, but I was just like, I wish I had this, one thing, like, too bad, or whatever. And I would be like, God, like, oh my gosh, like, I really like this guy and I want him to like me back. I don't know. I was just like, but when I was wailing yesterday, I was like, God, I won't even ask you. I don't even care. I don't care if the guy that I like is there. I don't care if he's not there. I don't care if he has a girlfriend that ends up being an actor with him next to. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to go back. Please. I start bargaining. I start wailing. It was bad. And so I just realized that what made me kept crying, like even more and more, like harder and harder, was me remembering how much love people had for me. Like how many hugs I got on a daily basis. How there were certain people that would like kiss me on the cheek when they saw me. Or just like, they would be like, the people that would like soften when they would see me, or like people that just cared about me, people that believed in me. hold on. People that were nice to me. like I had an overflow of love there. And I didn't take it for granted. This is not me saying that I didn't know what I had and now that I don't have it, it's like, oh, no, baby. I knew what I had. And I cherished what I had. And I loved them back as much as I could. I loved them with every fiber of my being. I yearned for them. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Like, when I think about it now, I was like, oh, no wonder several people told me, they were like, oh my gosh, you're glowing. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm falling in love. And I did. I fell in love. I fell in love with everybody there. I'm not joking. Like, literally. And I realized that I am in a love drought. Hashtag Beyonce, I'm in a love drought. I said, where is the love? Donny Hathaway, Roberta Flack, where is the love? That was mine, oh mine, till the end of time. Was it just a lie? But it was never a lie. Okay, are you following me? It was never a lie. You know what I mean? It was never a lie. And I think about, it says right here, in any creative life, there are dry seasons. These droughts appear from nowhere and stretch to the horizon like a Death Valley vista. Life loses its sweetness. Our work feels mechanical, empty, forced. We feel we have nothing to say, and we are tempted to say nothing. These are the times when the morning pages are most difficult and most valuable. The morning pages haven't gotten hard. The morning pages aren't the problem. Because this isn't a creative drought. This is a love drought. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, my mom would disagree. She's like, oh, well, I love you. And she does. She does. Let me tell you. This right here. I feel like listening to the song right now. I'm like, girl. I just can't. And I know that if I were to go back to APT, it would be different, and it wouldn't be the exact same people. And I know that. And I'm not trying to recreate last season. I just want to be around the love again. And I just want to love them again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that I just want to get. I want to get. I want to, give it out. You know what I mean? I feel like my love was kind of just, pouring out of me up there. And I feel like it still is on, a yearning type deal where it's just, I'm yearning and just, giving out love in my life in general right now. But just, with them, it was just, I would, I literally have never baked a pie from scratch in my life. But I baked pies from scratch several times. You know what I mean? And I just I am in love. I baked for people several times, and not just the pies from scratch. I'm talking banana bread. The girls that get it. I baked banana bread. I mean loaves. You know what I mean? I made brown sugar butter for the top of my pies. I was in love. I was in love. And I don't care if it was a honeymoon period, baby. I want to get back. I don't care if the honeymoon period is over, baby. I wanna be back. So that's where I am right now. And there's this internal struggle within me with me and God. Or my perception of God, I guess. Because now that I want APT, because I didn't want it before and then I got it. But now that I want it, what's gonna happen now? So we'll see. Yeah, bro. So this is really long, but I just wanted to express all of this and just be like, yeah. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go watch Doechii write this letter and watch Percy Jackson and just chill.